Any of the views expressed in this show do not represent the views or opinions of those participating. We are merely observers.
Please do not reenact any of the stories you hear on our show.
Being featured on our show is not something to be proud of.
And as always, please drink responsibly.
All right, now we're recording again, and this time we are actually recording. So we got through half of an episode.
This is the first time for everything, right?
Literally right before this, when we were sitting down getting ready to record the episode, Cail threw it out there that wouldn't it be funny? Have you ever at any point in time recorded and realized it didn't get audio that time around? And sure enough, it's the first time for everything.
God, that is like syrup.
Yeah, that.
Oh God,
Evan Williams. Honey.
It doesn't get better.
Yeah, it doesn't age well. Welcome to another episode of Laughs and Drafts. My name is Jason Thomas, your resident fancy boy.
I'm Jared, your learning man.
And I'm Ethan, the forceful cuddler.
I'm Cail, locally known as Nicolas Cage's body double.
Nicolas Cage's. I know we went over this last time, but I just want to say it's weird. It sounds weird. We should say Nicholas's. It sounds just as weird though.
Nick's.
It sounds weird,
Nick's Cage.
but you just got to commit.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Nick Cage's. It's Nick Cage's. No, it doesn't help.
It's
It's weird. It's really strange. Nick Cage's.
The body double of Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage.
There we
body
go.
double. Hey,
That way
he's
we don't
solving
have-
problems
That's a better
over
title.
here.
That's why we pay you no money. Anyways, for those who never listened to our show before, we go over strange news stories and talk about a few different beers and what we do and do not like about them. So we're going to go ahead and get into our first story of the night. This one is actually a fairly short one, but I thought it was really important that we cover it because we cover the hard-hitting topics. This one is from finance.yahoo.com, which I'm not sure why it's in the finance department.
Yahoo.
The headline reads, "Who doesn't want to go to Pound Town? Petition to rename Texas town goes viral." So, a petition and a GoFundMe to change the name of a Texas town, Dipping Springs, to Pound Town is trending for obvious reasons. A coalition is hoping to change the name for one Texas town in Hays County from Dripping Springs to Pound Town after Dr. Joseph and Sarah Pound, described by members as among the most outstanding and earliest settlers. But its noble effort has taken a lowbrow turn on social media due to observers who can't help but chuckle over the double entendre. That's largely thanks to the financial support of Jesse James, host of Jesse James, Outlaw Garage.
Jesse James.
Jesse James. His company's mailing address is in the town, and he's donated $1,500 towards the name change effort.
All that he has left.
Jesse James,
Every
man about
last
town.
dollar.
When the post has received over 820 reactions and 5,600 likes, respectively. So check this out. These dudes from my little town, Dripping Springs, are trying to get the name changed to Pound Town, he wrote, adding among his many reasons for support.
God, I hope it does.
City murder
I hope it
sales
does.
I can't
will
wait.
soar through the roof. Wasn't Jesse James the dude that was married to Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
And then is no longer married to Sandra Bullock because
He was too busy banging everyone else.
well, it just makes me sad.
Oh. What?
Because
You like Sandra Bullock?
who doesn't like Sandra Bullock?
I mean, she's okay.
She is a treasure.
I mean, I wouldn't kick it
I
out of
hate-
bed,
I
but
hate you all.
On the kick scale, it's a do not kick.
it's a
but
do
I
not
mean,
kick. But it's not a
What?
drag. It's not a drag
It's
either,
not
though.
just not a drag.
Guys.
I remember having to describe that to my supervisor like years ago when I worked
He's
at
like,
UPS.
what?
You know, he was, you're talking about somebody like, I wouldn't kick her. And he's like, you would kick her. And I was like, no. I had to go through the whole process. And he had stopped and kind of looked away and he goes, I'll have to use that. Like,
Yeah. It's just right in the medium scale.
Yeah.
Like, if she asked, I wouldn't say no. But I'm not going to be out and be like, hitting her over the head with a
out
club
of
and
your
dragging
mind.
her
Is that
to
a
my
balance?
bedroom.
I wouldn't caveman style.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, hit her in the head.
I feel like that balance is weighed because she's a celebrity. She's mid-grade.
no.
Mid-grade.
Yeah.
All of you are dead to me. I can't believe that. It was what I'm gonna have to find out later what you would classify as cavemaning materials. Somebody you would caveman.
Just open up Jared's pictures in his phone and you will find out.
My favorite
Oh,
photo.
man. You find a picture of Don Rickles.
It's just Denzel Washington.
My man.
My man. I like it that he repeats what I say back to me.
There's something about space that's triggering herpes in astronauts. Tests show
Is it
that
a space? Are you sure it's a space? Being in
What?
space, we don't know what happened. We all got herpes.
tests show that dormant herpes viruses reactivate in more than half the astronauts who travel on the space shuttle and International Space Station. According to new NASA research, a phenomenon the space agency says could pose problems for deep space missions.
Deep space herpes.
During spaceflight, there is a rise in secretion of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline,
Semen.
which are known to suppress the immune system, said study author Satish Mehta, a researcher at Johnson Space Center, in a press release. In keeping with this, we find that astronauts' immune cells, particularly those that normally suppress and eliminate viruses, become less effective during spaceflight and sometimes for up to 60 days later. Colleagues found that astronauts shed more herpes viruses in their urine and saliva than before or after space travel. The culprit, they suspect,
The
is just
culprit?
the stress of
They
space
have
flight.
herpes. Because it's already said it's dormant herpes. So they already have it. It's just being reactivated. So that sounds weird that it's like the main cause that they have herpes, space. It's like, no, it's just they had herpes before they went into space.
So NASA astronauts endure weeks or even months exposed to microgravity and cosmic radiation, not to mention the extreme G-force of takeoff and re-entry.
And going to Pound Town.
This physical challenge is compounded by more familiar stressors like social separation, confinement, and an altered sleep-wake cycle. Fortunately, symptoms were relatively rare. Out of 89 astronauts the team studied, only 6 experienced herpes breakouts in space, according to the paper, a rate about 7%.
So just 6 people had herpes and you caught it. It wasn't because they got it in space.
No.
They keep trying everything. It keeps going right back into like, well, they have bad sleep cycles and they're exposed to micro radiation and there's no gravity, so they got herpes.
They're having a lot of unprotected sex
Yeah.
with each other. We don't know what's going on.
Condoms are a lot to put on the space. Are they allowed?
Space,
wonder-
no rules.
I guess, yeah. If you're out in the open ocean, international waters, you can do whatever
Bareback
you
it.
want. Yeah.
Raw dogging.
You can't get pregnant in space because the micro gravity and radiation.
While only a small proportion develop symptoms, virus reactivation rates increase with spaceflight duration and could present a significant health risk on missions to Mars and beyond. So they're worried about extensive spaceflight to get to Mars. And so when they all get there, they'll apparently have herpes.
But the key
Everybody will have herpes.
is when you send people to Mars, you send people who don't have herpes.
No, it's too late. They all have herpes.
They all have herpes. It's America.
They've already
we all
moved
have
past-
herpes
But
now.
I mean,
We've moved past that.
it's
They all
space
have
that
it.
gives you
It's
herpes.
just
That's the
oh,
point. You know, that's the point of the story.
It
Is that where it came from? Herpes?
Yeah, aliens,
They keep
necromorphs
That's right.
from Dead Space.
Have you heard?
One, two,
Had
and
anybody heard of herpes before the '60s? Before they landed and went out into space?
His eyes just went bug-eyed. He's looking at me. Anybody hear about them aliens? They're real. Yeah, interesting though. That's good to know that space will give you penis bumps.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts.
If you do that, it's just gonna fall.
Herpes to Girl Scouts.
Yep. Straight on. So Girl Scout could
They both
Oh my god!
they go hand in hand. Girl Scout
I want to
cookie,
buy
good
some
Samaritan.
chocolate. Yeah.
I didn't take it there, but it's
How did you not? You took
I
from
just
herpes
said
to Girl
Jared.
Scouts.
because that's what we literally just did. We went from herpes.
You know what you
to
were doing.
Girl Scouts.
You knew what you were
so I
doing.
said we went from herpes to Girl Scouts, and then you immediately go into Big Bubba over there wanting some chocolate.
I have a guy that went there too.
Hey,
I have backup here.
you guys aren't too far off.
Let him read the story.
So, let's continue with the story. Girl Scout cookie Good Samaritan accused of federal drug crimes. A sweet story that went viral. Oh, and for those who want to know, it's taken from NPR Web News. A sweet story that went viral has taken a dark turn. Last week, a South Carolina mother posted on Facebook that a man bought some 120 boxes of Girl Scout cookies so that the children selling them could get out of the cold. That same individual, though, who bought the cookies has now been arrested. Drug Enforcement Administration spokesman Wade Sparks tells NPR
Thank God.
the man identified as... You all thought it was going somewhere
Yeah,
else.
because you said it was.
I know.
You were like,
Not that
buckle up.
good.
It's going that direction.
Yeah.
Good. It's just him getting arrested.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Identified as Derek
We dodged
Lee
the
McGowan.
bullet, everybody.
Derek Lee McGowan was one of the group named in a 22-count federal indictment that included conspiracy to distribute cocaine, heroin, indictment.
Indictment.
Indictment. You know, I don't think I've ever seen that word spelled.
Indicament.
I thought it was
Sounds like a
indictment.
really terrible cookie that released Indicament.
Oh, look, you never know. They might create a new one after this.
Tastes like penis and wind.
Indicament.
Indicament. Anyways.
From that indictment, that included conspiracy to distribute cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl.
Oh.
McGowan has entered a plea of not guilty to the 10 counts he is implicated in, according to federal court records.
Sir, we caught you selling drugs. Not guilty. You are handing me drugs right now. Not guilty.
Yeah. And not just once. 10 counts
10
against him. I'm not guilty in all of these.
Gosh.
It's not clear where he was arrested or whether the viral post praising the man's generosity assisted authorities in finding him. The arrest warrant was issued last Tuesday, while McGowan was helped with Girl Scouts on Friday, according to the Washington Post. The Facebook post by Mother Kayla Dillard is no longer public, and Dillard declined to comment. She did not name the man in her post. According to CNN, on that cold night near Greenville, several Girl Scouts were selling cookies outside a supermarket. The man approached and first bought 7 boxes, and then he turned around and cried back, "Pack up all your cookies. I'm taking them all so you can get out of the cold." Dillard said to Facebook Post CNN reporter the total came to $540.
3 boxes of cookies.
I wonder where he got that money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I can say just from experience being someone who
Sells
works
drugs.
for a living,
Girl Scout cookies.
I don't
Who was
have,
a Girl Scout?
who was a Girl Scout. First off, no one ever bought my cookies, and second, you don't get $540 of cookie money without selling some meth.
Yeah. Nobody's just
Or
going to
yourself.
$540
Yeah.
in cookies.
No one bought either when I was offering. Nobody purchased either of those. So unfortunately, I went.
Fresh ding dong here. That's not a Girl Scout cookie.
Untainted penis for anybody who wants it.
It's an indicament. It's new.
Cail's never going to live that down.
I mean, it's basically finished. Just to reiterate, though, that after the news of McGowan's legal troubles, the local Girl Scouts organization stressed that no troop members had faced any danger.
Oh, that's
We
good.
better not beat him over the head too much or else he won't stick around.
Well, I mean, you could have gone an entire half an episode
Shut
without recording.
Your dirty mouth. Could have gone a whole
Ethan,
episode.
take us away to
All
the
right.
next story.
This one's pretty good.
man.
It's a fridge full of beer magically appears in a flooded field just as tired guys pass by. This is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Parts of the Midwest are seeing record flooding.
I was about to say, aren't they currently underwater?
Yeah.
It's water world over there.
Yeah, no.
Parts of the Midwest are seeing record flooding as rivers overrun their banks and inundate homes and businesses, displacing hundreds of people. In Nebraska, Kyle Simpson and his friend Galen Stouffer spent a long day Sunday cleaning Simpson's flooded property on the Platte River, according to the Lincoln Journal-Star. As the pair was trudging back to their car, which was parked more than a mile away, Stouffer spotted what looked like a refrigerator not too far off what remained of the road. As Stouffer went to check it out, Simpson skeptically looked on. And he opens it up and says, "It's full of beer," Simpson said, according to the Journal-Star. "I said, yeah, right. and he reaches in and says, "It's ice cold," Simpson recounted. The fridge, it turns out, was full of cold beer, and what else could they do? They took a selfie with the refrigerator and drank a few brewskis, both marveling over the chances of stumbling across a refrigerator full of beer in the middle of nowhere after a hard day's work. Turns out the refrigerator full of beer came from a cabin about 4 miles upstream that didn't make it through the floods. Simpson talked with the owner, according to the Journal-Star, and promised to get the fridge back to him. Yeah, they even have a Twitter post with them in front of the. It's a mini fridge, just stocked full of beer.
Yep.
Just sitting out in the field.
Sweet. Wait, did you say Nebraska?
Yes.
They drink the most beer in the United States on a yearly basis.
Topical.
The most beer.
Isn't there like?
They got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I was about to say there's just nothing else to do.
No.
So I mean that's
Screw and drink beer.
the dream.
They could go to space.
They can go to space, but then they get
Perfect
herpes.
candidates.
Oh, Nebraska's full of people with herpes.
Are you sure?
That's how I got mine.
I heard that you can only get it from going to space.
Where did you hear that crap from?
Some stupid show called Laughs and Traps.
I hate every single one of them. There's nobody I hold little to no respect for like I do for those gentlemen. Anyways, let's get into our first beer of the night.
So this beer is one that Jared brought us, and it is from a brewery called Platform Beer Company, correct?
Yep.
It's the Chocolate Banana Donut beer, and it's a limited time beer.
He wouldn't shut up about it. He literally, it's all I've heard about for the past.
So I mean, it's not even it's like a limited time like tasting.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they just kind of a few out there to try to see how people like it, kind of thing.
Yeah, they have it's a limited series. They partnered up with a local donut place over there, and so they kind of inspired to make these. And I've been just watching everybody's reaction, and they all pretty much discussed it.
No, what are you talking about?
I thought you were.
No,
You were
I'm
like,
not
that's
disgusted.
weird. I thought you were.
It's weird. Doesn't mean it's bad. Just like first
God,
time
the sour keeps coming
I
in
thought you
waves.
would like it
bad.
the most.
I love sour stuff, but that one's
If
hitting
you
weird.
read the title, you don't expect that
Yeah.
much sour.
That's why I didn't want you to taste it until I was watching you. Because
It's not
I
like
just
a
wanted to see
good
reaction.
sour. It's just like
Really? I don't.
rotten sour,
I wouldn't say it's rotten sour.
like dead cow carcass.
oh,
What?
Well,
I'm being a little dramatic.
that was a little bit. It hit me. The first drink hit me pretty hard, but I was also like not expecting. I didn't get
Right.
like a sense of smell or anything in it first, which I probably should have.
Yeah.
The second drink is way better.
Yeah.
I think I was going in
It's a
like
shock.
I was like it's gonna be
It's really-
chocolate and banana, and there's gonna be a
You were
donut
like,
flavor
whoa,
there, and then it's
and here's
tasting
the
nothing
thing.
like that.
A
little bit of banana.
those, but you don't drink it and taste it because of to me, like the impact of like that tart, almost grapefruit.
Yeah, that's how I
Is that
I
what
can
you
see that.
taste?
Not necessarily.
It's a real tart.
Yeah,
Something
I mean, it is
citrus.
grapefruit-esque. It does have like this. like,
I'm getting
super
grapefruit,
But,
for
like,
sure.
every-
I feel like I'm getting grapefruit. there.
Every bit of that aftertaste to me is just creamy banana. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's you.
The more I drink it, okay, I'm starting to like it now. But initially, I was
Oh,
not
it's-
expecting that
When I
at all.
first opened it and drank it, I was like, "Whoa, sour!" But then, like, it's weird because it's one of the few beers that in succession where I'm like, "Oh, here's the tart. Didn't expect that." But I'm like, "Here's chocolate. Oh, there's the banana." And then there's like this biscuit type taste that it's just like it does honestly remind me of a donut at the end. So it's like one of those few that I'm like, this is really weird, but like they nailed it.
It almost,
For me.
it even has like afterward, like it's dry now,
Yeah,
which is so weird.
Yeah.
it's dry finish for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's weird because I mean, when you first poured it, obviously there was there was a small head on it. It didn't last very long. The aroma is super citrusy that you get from it. I mean, it's very strong. It's got a nice like straw color, which is weird having anything resemble chocolate come from a light flavor.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I do feel like it would have been less a shock, like because even the scent, the smell, when you smell it, smells pretty sour. It wouldn't be as surprising.
yeah,
If you don't, unless you just drink it without giving a little bit of aroma.
It's weird. It's like it smells like glazed donuts.
what
To you,
Yeah.
to you that is?
I smelled like grapefruit when I
No,
smelled
there's
I smell.
no, there's grape. I'm not saying that's the only thing I
it. Oh,
smell.
well,
I
So,
smell like banana and
There's,
grapefruit.
there's
Besides
banana,
the-
grapefruit, and
it smelled like punch.
The hops and grains, and they do have like these side ingredients that you wouldn't typically get in a beer. Lactose, banana puree, graham cracker, vanilla bean, and chocolate.
It is interesting that a lot of times certain beers will advertise, or alcohols in general will advertise you get a lot of different flavors, different nodes or whatever when you drink it. But this one is very much that. They're very. I think they're very distinct.
yeah,
all the different flavors.
incredibly distinct. I love it. I can taste every single flavor, and it shouldn't work, but it does for me.
Yeah, it's just that sour. I mean, it does. Normally, there's some point like it hits you up on the front end or something, where it's like catches you on the back end. You get that like sour, but as soon as this hits your tongue, until a couple seconds after it's gone, it's like a good 5 seconds of sour.
It's weird. It's weird to say like it's not the same at all, but almost like how wasabi is to heat. This is to sour. Like it doesn't hit you, and then you're like, "Oh, that was so sour."
Oh,
I can't
yeah, it's
stand
later.
It. Like immediately it wears away, and you get the other flavors.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like through the whole smell is just.
Through the
Do,
whole.
do you all smell?
I
Y'all
smell.
it. Y'all
mean,
smelt it. The glazed donuts.
Oh, I don't smell glazed.
I smelled
donut at
what
all.
what I smelled was what he smelled. It's like kind of like tart grapefruit and banana.
Yeah.
But
Smell that, but it's like it's like a sweeter smell, almost like where you put like fresh glaze, like hot glaze, like when you go in and like a Krispy Kreme or something like that. Shut up. Before you even go there.
I definitely
fresh
going
glaze.
anywhere.
Maybe I've had a
sir.
stroke or something, but I'm just
Yeah.
getting citrus
No?
out of this. Like,
when I smell it,
I've
that's
had
what
it like 4 or 5 times before I even brought it here. So.
Yeah, I know. I haven't stopped hearing about it.
I
So,
will
Yeah.
say, I like it.
yeah.
Just
I have to hear about it one more time. Now you know I've had it.
never again.
Never again. So yeah, but I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It's something I would get while I was out. It's just very sour. So other than that,
Yeah, that's why I thought you'd be into it, Ethan, because it was sour.
no, I dig it. I think just going in thinking chocolate, banana, donut, it just didn't get any of that. And so I was like, oh, crap. I didn't know what to expect. But I mean, yeah, I like it. It's just, I'm not getting those flavors out of it.
went from
No.
rotting cow corpse.
No, I mean, I've eaten a couple rotting cow corpses, and this one's the best one.
This is the
Preferably
best.
the ones with a lot more chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's not bad. It's just odd. It's really odd.
It is. That'll.
I don't know if
it
I would
too.
want like a 4 or 6 pack of this as much as like one, like in a sampler pack or something. You know what I mean?
I honestly feel like if it was more malty or any of the latter like sweet flavors, I would like it less. I feel like that everything complements itself really well. Like
That's-
it's got like the perfect mixture to make it.
That's
And
exactly
I feel like
how
it's a very light, like viscosity wise, like it's
Yeah.
not a very dense beer.
It's not.
That's another thing I liked about it too, because it comes in the
It's like it's
tall
like
cans.
the
16
consistency of like cranberry juice.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of it. So I'll be buying them until they're all gone.
Jared likes this beer, Jason.
I've heard it. I've heard about this beer quite a few times.
And you
No,
probably
Jason, I don't
continue.
think you've heard enough about how much I love this.
There's a beer from the Platform Beer Company. It's called the Chocolate Banana Donut.
Oh man,
Have you heard of this?
That sounds interesting. I'd like to try that sometime. Anyways, let's go ahead and get. Oh no, let's get a rating for this.
4.5.
4.5. Man, you were already ready.
Oh yeah,
What would you say?
4.
4,
3.
3, 3. So
This is our most varied.
Yeah,
yeah, I think
really.
this is probably out of all the beers. Usually we're pretty close, but today I mean,
3.8.
that's what you're saying. It's going to
Yeah,
be
I
3.8,
mean something like that.
3.625.
Crap.
Hell, if this is Price is Right, you're just wrong. You're just wrong.
Just
You
wrong.
just
You
wrong.
just wronged it. You wronged all over the place.
You lost. We have a 3.5. I'd
Yeah.
say what you put it at, or 3.75.
That's fair.
I mean, whichever one you want to put it at on Untapped. So, anyways, yeah. Thanks for bringing that in. No, actually, thanks, Cail.
No.
Thanks for bringing that in.
yeah.
Since Jared did not bring that in, you
Nope.
did.
Yeah, thank you, Cail.
So let's go ahead and get into our next story of the night. This one.
Interesting title.
Oh, so someone else wasn't ready, huh?
This one.
Just go. There's a bedroom back there, man. You all just go have at it.
It's all that sexual tension.
Sexual frustration.
I know, man. I'm just chomping the bit. I think he's so pretty, but he doesn't notice me.
That's awesome.
Now I just feel like we need to break into song. Hey, what did you seriously take that beer over there to finish?
Y'all ain't gonna drink it.
No, yes we are. You already finished your glass.
I didn't even see that. I was like, oh, I thought ours was done.
See?
Freaking
I'm
took
sneaky.
it over there to,
I'm sneaky.
on his own inside. Whatever. This one is from WFLA.com. And headline reads, plane forced to turn around after mom forgets baby at the airport.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yep.
Traveling can be very difficult.
That's how I lost my kid. I just didn't go back.
There's so many things to remember, from your toothbrush to your charger, and on top of that, you're rushing to make sure you get to the airport with plenty of time. With everything going on, you're bound to forget something, either at home or at the terminal. Plenty of people leave behind bags, laptops, books, and even phones, but what one woman forgot was such a big deal, they turned her plane around. She was on flight SV 832 from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia to Kuala Lumpur.
You are not making it easy
Malaysia.
for yourself today, are you?
When she alerted the cabin crew that she had left her baby at the airport. The crew told the pilot, who radioed in the shocking story to the tower. The audio from that conversation has been posted to social media, and in it, the pilot explains in Arabic and English what is going on, asking for permission to return to the airport. Some stories say the plane had already taken off, while others state it was just taxiing. Unsure if they heard right, air traffic control asked the pilot to repeat himself, and he says, one passenger forgot her baby in the terminal. She refuses to continue the flight, adding, may God be with us. Can we come back or what? Having never been in a situation like this, the operator had to ask a colleague what to do and can be overheard saying, the flight is requesting to come back. A passenger forgot her baby in the waiting area, the poor thing. They allowed the plane to return, telling the flight deck, okay, head back to the gate. This is totally new one for us. The mother and her baby were reunited, but there were no word on how she could have left a child behind without noticing for so
How do you do
long.
that, really?
Somehow it happens. As you all may know,
At least it was still
I
there.
work retail.
Yeah.
And the one day we got a phone call about a frantic mother who calls in, and we did initially at the time we didn't know it was a phone call. One of the team members calls out code yellow, which is lost child.
Yeah.
So we did our runs as necessary, called out, what does it look like, this and that, and so we could go and search for the child, and but it's protocol for us to find the mother and watch the doors, so that in case the kid tries to run out, depending on the age, or someone to try to take the child out of the store.
Yeah.
So that's protocol. So we're like, well, where is the mother, so we can meet her, so we can bring her to the front. And the operator gets on the phone. She's like, no, the mother's not here. The mother's at home. And this was like a 4-year-old child. And she's like, she's frantic. She says she left her child in the store. So we were looking and looking and looking. And even the guests at the time, everyone was searching for this child, like freaking out. And then we were like judging this parent because, like, how do you leave, your
How do you make it home?
How do you get home? And she said she apparently was unloading the groceries and stuff like that, and then realized, oh my gosh, where's my kid? But then we get, I think about 10, 15 minutes, or no, it was 15 minutes past, and then the operator says, whoa. cancel it. And so we canceled. Like, what happened? And she said she just found her child underneath laying in the base of the floor of the car. So so she didn't actually leave her kid. She was just frantic. But apparently
Never went back to the store again.
She didn't remember her kid in the car the whole time, so she immediately thought, like, I left that child in the store.
Gosh.
So it happens sometimes.
I mean, I guess so. I'm one of those people that, getting into the car. So, like, when I'm leaving the house, phone, wallet, keys. Going outside, phone, wallet, keys. Right before I get in my car, phone, wallet, keys. Sitting down in my car, phone, wallet, keys. When I get out of my car, phone, wallet, keys.
Oh, who would have thought?
So, the fact that, like, if I had a kid, it'd be like, phone, wallet, keys, kid. You check, you make sure, you just double check. Like, it's the same thing with, like, people who leave their kids in a car and, blistering heat, and they, like, I just forgot that he was in there. And
Also happens a lot.
Like, you got a huge bobblehead basically next to you. How
You
do
have a screaming demon that's inside your car at all
Oddly quiet
times.
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly she had almost made it back to the store when she called back. I wish she had made it.
My
The
baby
kid, like-
was just underneath the floorboards.
The kid like leans up from the back seat. And he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh my god!"
Supposedly the kid was just old enough to, like, think it was funny, so, like, really hid and was, like, being quiet, sneaking around, and she just couldn't find it. It was like an SUV or whatever. But
Gosh,
She
you
got
that
home.
Kid.
And
Yeah.
she beat that kid.
Oh,
You
that
know
kid
that
got in
kid
trouble.
got beat.
oh yeah,
That was a good one. That's good. Kids get whooped.
I used to do that. Hide from. For some reason, I liked hiding, especially when I went clothes shopping with my mother.
that was the best.
It was, I think, when the Value City was still open and they sold all kinds of clothes. So, like, they had these large metal
The
circular
round ones.
racks.
Yes.
Round
Yep,
racks. So I
those
would
are the best.
stand in the middle, just listen to my
Thankfully,
mom
your mom
frantically
is
freak out.
your mom is the chillest person I've ever met.
Oh, yeah. You know how she is.
I'm
She
sure
never
she
freaks out about
handled
anything.
that fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had a good laugh to myself for a while.
And then she beat me.
And then I kept laughing. This is why I do it.
I like it.
I got like so many jokes that are so inappropriate from this point on, but I know your mom, and it's just going to be weird if I say them. All right, let's just go ahead and go into our next.
Do you know me?
I do know you. That's why I'm not going to say them. You'll roll right with it.
Yeah. You know me. Russian city hosts painful face slapping championship.
I saw some videos of this, like people getting knocked out.
Yes. It's Russians. They're crazy.
Just bored.
That
Well, they
too.
resort to beating each other up.
This Russian city recently hosted the country's first ever amateur face slapping championship, which had participants slap each other across the face until one of them got knocked out. The controversial event was held during the Siberian Power Show, a popular sports show held in Krasnoyarsk on March 16th and 17th. A similar competition took place last year in Moscow, but it featured only professional athletes competing for the unofficial title of most heavy-handed face slapper. This time, organizers decided to give amateurs the chance to prove themselves, so anyone willing to engage in some manly face slapping was invited to sign up. Most of the participants were just random guys who had come to attend the power show and decided to try something new. It's fair to say that some of them didn't know the world of pain they would be experiencing at the hands of a mountain of a man. The rules of this amateur face slapping championship are still a bit unclear, but from what I was able to understand from various Russian sources, competitors faced each other across a small table, similar to the ones used in arm wrestling competitions, and hit each other across the face with the palm of their hands. Ideally, one of the two men would be knocked out by the slap, but if both were left standing after taking 3 slaps, a judge would decide the winner based on power and technique.
Technique.
I like the illustration on your phone of the old classic Batman.
The Batman and Robin,
backhanding.
the backhand
Oh,
Robin.
yeah.
It's wonderful. Although face slapping isn't an official sport yet, the competition did have some simple rules. Participants were not allowed to hit opponents with the bottom part of their palm. to avoid causing serious injuries.
Wait, no. I've seen these videos, and the only ones that are knocking each other out are hitting with the bottom part of their palm. So they're getting their whole hand in there.
I guess it's directed to just try not to.
Yeah, because there's no way if
like
if you're
right
hitting
here.
somebody with your fingers, just your fingers, there's no way that's going to knock them out.
I think it's supposed to be full hand, but if you're more, I can imagine.
Because if it's angled where your palm's hitting first, or the bottom of your palm,
because they
hitting
absolutely,
first.
you're right. I mean, they absolutely do.
There's no way.
It's like,
Yeah, if you have a closed fist when you're swinging at each other, then obviously something's wrong.
so they're only allowed to use the fingers in the upper half of the palm to avoid.
No, I've seen this.
No, they don't do that.
That's what they say. To avoid causing serious injuries, they were also forbidden from targeting opponents' temples, ears, and eyes. These measures were meant to protect competitors, but when you're an average weight man getting slapped by a 350-pound heavy-handed farmer, they don't really help much. Apparently, organizers of the face slapping championship didn't think it was necessary to have different weight categories, which allowed 28-year-old Vasily Kamatsky, a 168-kilogram farmer and fitness enthusiast, to decimate the competition. Most of the guys he went up against were about half his size, and their slaps didn't seem to bother him in the slightest. While his big hands literally knocked down several opponents, you can even see him holding back after almost knocking his first opponent unconscious. Kamatsky easily won the face-slapping contests, and while he only got 30,000 rubles, which is $470, as a prize, he also became an overnight sensation after videos of the competition went viral online.
Yeah, 'cause
Organizers
he was probably like having his way with his contestants after them. You are mine now.
Organizers have already invited him to take part in another face-slapping contest, this time against professional athletes who they hope will prove a stiffer competition.
Stiffer.
I'll be
Stiff.
All I can think of, because I saw one of these videos, is one of the, like, Half Thor, which is like, or Hap Thor,
Yeah.
one of the world's strongest man, who was like 6'8". No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, like 6'8", 6'9".
He's a big dude.
Him, or like Brian Shaw, who is another.
Brian Shaw, man.
He's just a hand of like the size of a watermelon, just coming at your face.
They said it could possibly be an Olympic sport in the future.
Break your neck.
Man, I would love to watch that.
Yeah, I was about to say you're gonna get you could not be in that sport and be a small person. There's just no way.
Yeah, I imagine if they ever took it to that, they would add.
They would have to have
standards. They'd
weight
have to have
classes
weight
and
stuff.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Imagine weighing in for
Yeah.
weighing in for a hand slap competition. You get to take your pants off and your shirt, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go.
What if you were like super tiny?
To weigh in.
I already do take off my pants and shirt for slap contests.
It's not slapping faces.
You won't be slapping something. Want to see me clap without my hands?
Oh man! Any of you guys like hot sauce? Are you
No.
potentially
No,
Yeah.
not big into heat?
I like hot sauce.
Oh, good. Well, perhaps this might interest you.
Probably not, but we'll go with it.
There is a new special type of hot sauce coming out, and it's called the venomous hot chili sauce, which mimics spider bite that will give you muscle spasms. You ingest it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Coming to B-dubs near you.
It's exactly what you wanted.
Called the Michael J. Fox sauce.
Do you find a Naga Viper barley even tickles your taste buds? Does a Carolina Reaper basically leave you cold? As for jalapenos, do you in fact eat these to cool down? If you're the sort of person with a ridiculously high spice tolerance, then there's a new chili sauce which offers a different sort of challenge. Introducing Scientific Steve's Venom Chili Sauce. This new hot sauce has been developed so it mimics the bite of a venomous spider. I'm sure that's exactly what everyone would want
Yeah.
when they eat, right? That's the feeling you want to get.
You know what I'm missing in my wings? Seizures.
Don't worry, it doesn't.
Just a dash of seizures in here would just be great.
Don't worry, it doesn't actually use real venom. In case anyone was curious, but
the seizures are still there.
but the reaction's still the same. But specifically those in the Trinidad chevron tarantula's fangs, which leave victims with muscle spasms and burning pain because What meal is complete without a dose of that? Everybody wants that when they eat, right?
Yeah, I wish I had it when I was eating cornflakes this morning.
The brains behind this new sauce is based on research firm Venom Tech. So they actually went that far to get.
We're so close to making superheroes and like anime cat girls. We're so close.
There's an institute.
I can only hope I live to see that time.
You'll be pleased to know that thanks to the Food Standards Agency, no actual tarantulas were harmed in the making of their sauce.
Even if they were, who cares?
They should.
Nobody likes spiders,
That's
which
fine.
instead uses a synthetic poison.
No natural spiders were harmed in this, but we only use anthrax.
Managing director and founder Steve Trim, 41, said, "It's as best we can manage without actually tasting the venom."
Well, it sounds like, to me, somebody's little wuss.
It's a similar heat component that the venom would cause. So not the actual thing, but close to it. I laughed it off at the time and said it was hilarious to do. Nobody has been foolish enough to try the venom.
That's
What?
the what? Who
Isn't
does
that the point?
Should I just
I think
make
so.
a drug that's just nothing but Drano? And I'm like, nobody's injected it into themselves, but it'd be good if they did.
Yeah, that's Tide Pods, right?
Yeah, Tide Pods. Let's go back into that.
But we kept bringing it up when we bumped into each other over the year. We finally hit on the idea of doing a synthetic-inspired sauce. If the very thought of this sauce has you drooling in anticipation, because you know everyone is, then the good news is it will only set you back $6.50, and there's a link to find it if you're interested. You can find this article on Mirror.
I really enjoy hot sauce. I really enjoy ones that add flavor.
Yeah.
So if it actually adds flavor,
Yeah, that's the only
I don't
thing
care how hot it is.
I can say about theirs is it was like you're like sweating, but then you're like, that's really good, but you're still sweating. Like it tastes really good.
Yeah, and that's the key thing to like. And I don't like stuff that's just like it's hot for the sake like this is having seizures.
It's like
it's
the adrenaline behind it is that I survived the hot sauce, not that I ate something that I like the taste of.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
not, that's the reason.
at what point do we draw that line of insanity of like putting stuff in our mouths? Like we got to stop. There's got to be a point in time where we stop putting things in our mouths. So we've already drinking tampon juice, we're eating Tide Pods, having hot sauce that makes you have seizures.
Yeah. I mean, it's only it's inevitable that there's going to be a viral thing on people just ingesting tarantulas.
Yeah. Well, they already do that. There are delicacies elsewhere.
That's true.
I actually watched a video of these 3 girls literally going through the entire process. First, they drown the spiders, and then they take all the spiders and they put all these sauces on them, and then they sprinkle all this stuff, and it's just this big pot of tarantulas, and then they like deep fry them, and then it's like, have you ever had a tarantula like in your hand before? But one,
No.
they're just hairy. They're the hairiest little buggers. Like I used to have one that was like the first pet I had as a kid was Chilean rose tarantula. And it was just hairy. They're just hairy.
They're just hairy.
Hairy. They're
It's like a bush with legs.
It is. It's basically all it is. And
It's like Ron Jeremy in your hand.
Oh yeah,
oh my god,
Big and hairy.
but
that's a little
a
tendril.
little Polish man. But yeah, it's like I just can't imagine. You're just eating hair. You're eating like a handful of hair. It just
Well, like,
ugh.
wouldn't it be just easier to eat the skin that it sheds? The tarantula sheds?
I mean, but then you gotta wait. It's a waiting game. They,
Well-
they don't shed very often.
You can't drown the skin.
How long-
That's half the fun. Is drowning
How
the
long-
tarantula.
Let them drown.
How long does it take for them to shed their skin?
It's not often. I don't remember how long mine like the periods would go. I remember my brothers
Gotta make 'em eat a
went
lot,
to
so,
molt,
like-
and when they molt, they lay on their back and they curl up into a ball like they're dead.
Yeah.
So my brother thought his was dead, so he took it out in the backyard and buried it. And then we realized mine did the exact same thing. We were like, "What's going on?" And then we're like, "Oh, it's molting." So we went and we just buried it. So we went outside to go get it. It's not like we like stomped it, and
Yeah.
we thought maybe they could save it. We get out there, and the dog looks up, and it's got spider legs hanging out of its mouth. It dug it up and ate it. We were like, oh!
I was going to say, you may have just created a new breed of spider.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Dog spider.
So what happened to yours though? Eventually, like
Just lived, got old, and then
I mean, like no
You know,
accidents
spider
happened. It
things.
didn't get out, and then someone.
no. Eventually, I was
Got a
living in
job.
Korea at the time,
Moved out.
and I think my
Little graduation kid.
my grandparents at the time, my step grandparents at the time, would do that whole thing where they would take bugs and they would like pin them and like frame them, and I think they just took it and did the whole thing where they gas it and kill it and then pinned it.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, the old Hitler routine. Yeah.
You should have. You should have.
Gas and pin it.
Gas and pin it.
Yep.
Oh dear God.
Mother runs over drunk son who wouldn't get off of the driveway. As one does.
Ooh.
A woman who allegedly ran over her drunk son with a car is in jail. Cynthia Grund, 58, said she rolled over the 37-year-old man because he was lying down in the driveway
That's a good last name, Grund.
and asked her, "Why don't you just run me over?" According to the KIMT3 in Minnesota. He didn't believe I could, she reportedly told Olmsted County, Minnesota deputies.
Surprisingly easy.
He has been drinking all day. We gave him a chance. Grund was sober when the alleged crime occurred around 5 p.m. Monday. According to cops, she was arrested for second-degree assault. The victim is said to have suffered significant head and pelvic injuries, probably because tires.
Yeah.
Drunk tires.
They'll do that. The tires, they seem soft, but when they're on you, just like me, it seems soft when I'm on you.
Grund's husband.
Yeah,
Touch your pelvic.
it's heavy.
Oh my god.
Death by snoo.
Good to know.
Grund's husband, the victim's stepfather, called paramedics. Neighbor Samuel Hafner said he never found Grund or her family to be malicious. They were always friendly, always willing to help out within our community, he said.
Always willing to run somebody over, those two.
I would never describe them as off or malicious in any sort of way. Grund's sister, Lois Reese, is set to stand trial in Minnesota for oh my gosh. Her sister is set to stand trial in Minnesota for killing her husband, David, in March.
Well,
According to the KIM-T3, Rice, 44, is also being tried for murdering a woman in Florida.
it must run in the family.
Just runs in the
They
family.
got real deep there towards the end. All about homicide. Where's that at? Michigan?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. That's one of the.
We'll just say it's Florida. It's fine.
It's the Florida of the
They're all
North.
Florida men.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, but the sister who tried to kill somebody in Florida. So there's a connection there.
It all comes back
It
to
all
Florida. in the
comes
end.
back to
Worlds
Florida.
collide.
So let's go ahead and get into our last beer of the night.
So a second beer of the night is I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. Leffe is the brewery. They trace their roots, or at least their traditions, back to the 1200s. But I'm seeing on their history here on their website 1929 as a reoccurring number that keeps popping up as, I guess, when they reestablished, like officially, like what they might be today. But this particular one is the Leffe Brown Ale, 6.5%. They describe it as sharp and full-bodied. The Leffe Brown is an authentic Abbey beer. Both its deep dark brown color and its full, slightly sweet flavor can be ascribed to the use of darkly roasted malt, making every sip just as exceptional as the last.
I literally taste no sweet. It is strictly like nuts and metal. That's all I get from it. I mean, even like the aromas, like I can't even place because it smells like what cough syrup, like what that heavy grade cough syrup smells like. And the one thing that it tastes like a Sharpie, like what a Sharpie smells like is what it ends on. Is the ending note is what Sharpies smell like.
It's so disappointing because when I first had it, like how the website describes it is exactly what I tasted.
I wonder if something's wrong with this particular
And
beer.
it
I
might
wonder-
be
Honestly, it could
specifically-
be,
I'm
Because-
wondering the same thing
because
because
it was sweet.
it
I
does,
don't-
it
it
does
was
have a
sweet.
very traditional like nut brown ale flavor when you first take a drink, and it goes away very quickly, and then it's just like very metallic, very
Yeah,
like
but that metallic that at the end was not there.
yeah.
It was just sweet.
And we
Sweet
I know we
nuts.
talked about the last time was that improperly storing hops. That's what gets you sweaty socks and metallic.
Yeah,
So
that's probably what that.
I mean, that's probably what it is. I honestly can't. I took one sip of this, and I will not take another sip. Like it is, like I'm not going to go back.
There's some cool history behind this one, at least. I mean, it doesn't taste very good, but
Well, there was some cool history around World War II, but it doesn't taste very good either.
all right. But 1240 is when they're tracing this one back to. So this one was come back from the 1200s. At the time in Belgium, there was the plague going around, and so they knew at the time we have to.
it's just
It's plague.
You gotta boil your water, and so they were like, well, we can just turn it into beer because I mean that like purifies the water in itself. So I guess through some like rats and plague, and you get the Leffe Brown.
Oh,
Happy ending.
I mean, what do you
Really?
think about like the taste of it?
I'm really disappointed. I really am.
I mean, it's not. I'm not getting quite that like what you all are getting out of it. It's not a very good beer, but it's just kind of. I don't know. It's just. It doesn't taste disgusting to me, but it's just not a very good beer. I mean, that's terrible description, but
No,
I can't really get anything out of it. It's just
I mean, it has
miscellaneous stout or brown ale number 4.
It
You know what I mean?
has, yeah, I mean, it has everything going for it. Colors, brown ale, like normal.
got that part right.
It's, it's got the aroma.
Medicine, metal.
The aroma's not bad, but it does
It's
taste.
bad.
It does smell a little metallic and the taste. But it's so sad because all brown ales had tasted the same to me, but this is why I had this one and picked it out because it wasn't like it stood out really well. So I'm not happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I could have just been this beer in particular is bad.
Yep.
So yeah, because I don't get anything besides metal and cough syrup and Sharpie and ink. So it's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
yeah, not good.
So what would you give it a rating?
2.
From my previous tasting and compared with this one, I'm gonna meet in the middle and say like 3.5.
3.5. I'm gonna give it a solid 1
Yep, same for me. 1.
and a 1.
Maybe give it another chance in
So-
case it's the single, just specifically this beer. But
1.75. So that's I don't know. I would be if somebody bought this for me again and was like try it again, I would give it another go just to see if it was that because man, it's just
It was like night and day. Like it's
really
yeah.
It's not a Stone IPA, so there's
At
something to
least
take
we
away
can-
from this.
yeah. So I mean,
We can at least say that.
that's kind of like what it gets. It is just like a nasty flavor. You don't taste hops. You don't taste. I don't even really get any kind of nutty flavors. I just get metal and I
Yeah.
get like I said, just ink. That's the only thing I can think of is it's what Sharpies smell like is what it tastes.
I get a bit of a bitterness on the back,
Yeah.
but that's about it for me.
It's not good.
it doesn't really leave any kind of flavor.
Yeah.
No.
Because I don't even remember the flavor unless I drink it again.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I've got nothing.
I've got nothing, and I'm not going back in for another.
It's terrible.
Unless it gives me a seizure, then I'm going back for it.
If you could somehow make
Muscle
this
spasms.
beer give me seizures, that would be real nice. So, well, I mean, they all can't be winners. So, Leffe, maybe we'll come and, check you out some other time and try maybe even take another stab at this beer. We can do like a worst beer episode.
That's a good idea.
And
is
you
a good idea.
Round
you
two of
could
all the
be-
worst.
You could be round 2 to see if our palates have changed or if we just didn't get some stanky beer this time around. So I mean, we definitely understand that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that can happen.
It can happen to anybody. So nothing about your 1920 plague beer, but it tastes like 1920 plague beer. So I guess that's another episode. It felt like an eternity. We went through, didn't record half of an episode.
All Jared's
And
fault.
it's
Keep it
all
going.
Jared's fault. I'd like to kindly remind you, as we do at the end of every episode, that you could find us just about anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So I know we're on Stitcher, we're on Last FM, we're on
TuneIn,
TuneIn, we're on Spotify, iTunes. Go
on
if you,
Google
any
Play
one of
Store.
those places. Yeah, any place that you listen to podcasts, you can find our disgusting faces there waiting for you.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot that he goes. Does he say? Does he have anything
Oh.
to say?
Just say you could also find us on Facebook at Laughs and Drafts.
You can also find us on Facebook at Laughs and Drafts.
You can find us on Twitter at Laughs and Drafts and also on Instagram at Laughs and Drafts Pod. We feature many beers and a lot of our news stories on there, so check it out.
You can also find us at patreon.com/laughs and drafts and Reddit. It's laughs and drafts.
Yeah, so man, it's
We is
episode.
everywhere.
Yeah, we are everywhere now. I mean,
We are Legion.
we are legion. We are many. We make pigs jump off a cliff. There's some of a Bible joke there for you. For any of the Bible readers out there, you can get learned. Why am I getting to a Southern accent when I guess Bible Belt? I think Southern, but we're in the Bible Belt, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be.
We live in the South.
We live in the South, don't we?
I believe Kentucky counts as
Yes, that's right.